More often than not, the internet is a cesspool littered with negativity. So you can only imagine my joy when I saw my show, my boy, making waves online. Just in case you didn't know, there's been a trend rising, the "you have no enemies" meme. This meme format shows different scenarios of compassion and kindness being displayed during an otherwise hostile situation, and doing all of this to the tune of Aurorian Dance by Nujabes, which I'm not gonna play because I don't want to get copyright striked. As you can probably guess, the quote, "you have no enemies," originates from what is becoming my favorite anime/manga, Vinland Saga. So in this video, we'll dive deeper into what it truly means to have no enemies. Despite its peaceful message, the meme has caused a bit of a stir online. For many, this philosophy promotes cowardice. My video will address this judgment, among a few others. It actually surprised me how very few videos have analyzed Vinland Saga the way I'm about to. So if you're ready to embark on this adventure, put on your historically inaccurate Viking helmets and let's jump right into it. And by jump, I mean a brief recap of the show. Because in order to ground my argument, we need context. Also, some of the people watching this video may have seen the meme, but have never actually watched the anime or read the manga. Again, I'll try to keep this recap brief because I hate video analyses where 70% of the video is just recap, while the remaining 30% is just another recap pretending to be an analysis. And I've never been guilty of this. Not once. Never. So Vinland Saga follows the journey of Thorfinn, a boy living in the age of Vikings. This brutal period of history was marked by its savagery and its callousness towards the weak and marginalized. In this world, justice isn't served with a gavel, but with a sword. This was the environment Thorfinn grew up in, which is why it's not too surprising why he's kinda crazy in season 1 of the show. As a boy, Thorfinn had only one thing in mind: revenge. His father Thors was murdered, so for years, Thorfinn would burn villages and spill innocent blood, all for the chance to duel the man responsible for killing his father, Askeladd. But in a twist of fate, Askeladd dies at the hands of another. Thorfinn's chance for vengeance was swept away, and along with that, his purpose in life. In the beginning of season 2, Thorfinn works as a slave on a farm, and he's unrecognizable. With no purpose to live, Thorfinn is an empty husk, a corpse just wandering, letting life wear him away. The ones to revive him out of his apathy are the dead. The victims of his past conquests accuse him of his sins. But it's the spirits of Thors and Askeladd that remind Thorfinn to lay down the sword and become a true warrior, to fight a new and more noble battle where there are no enemies. So what does it actually mean to have no enemies? Well, let's just start off with what it doesn't mean. This proverb does not promote cowardice. When lived out to its fullest extent, the words tell us not to run away from problems, but to face them head on. Not to escalate the situation, but to resolve the conflict peaceably. Some may rebut with,
"Well, what about Thors? He ran away from his problems."
and yeah, he did. But you know what he did in the end? Thors confronted his past demons and gave his life knowing that others may live. That's not cowardice, that's courage.
But what about Thorfinn? In the manga, Thorfinn has ran away numerous times.
I'll grant you that, but I'd argue that Thorfinn still confronts those situations. Yeah, he's avoided fights, but this wasn't out of fear. It was to protect the lives of those around him. Which leads me to my next point. This may be a controversial take, but having no enemies doesn't mean we can't defend ourselves. We're not called to be trampled upon. As a reminder, Thors fights. In the future, Thorfinn will fight too. The difference is these two men fight to defend, not to attack. To save life, not to take it. Another critique people bring up is that this mindset excuses wrongdoing and ultimately evil. To have no enemies is to dismiss the suffering of the innocent. This is completely false. My decision to respond peaceably to a wrong you've committed towards me doesn't change the fact that what you did was wrong. People often mistake revenge for justice. To clarify this confusion, I love how the film Batman Begins distinguishes vengeance from justice.
Maybe I should be thanking them.
You don't mean that.
What if I do, Rachel? My parents deserve justice.
Well, you're not talking about justice, you're talking about revenge.
Sometimes they're the same.
No, they're never the same, Bruce. Justice is about harmony, revenge is about you making yourself feel better.
So with all that being said, what does it actually mean to have no enemies? Well, in my opinion, to have no enemies is to love unconditionally. For many of us, we're taught to fear and vilify those outside of our tribe. And this fear isn't unjustified. We live in a fallen world that seeks to hurt us and those we care about. Fear is a very human response. Fear tells us to build walls and arm ourselves. Fear is paranoid, doubtful, and self-serving. If humanity is to move forward, it must look upward. Change can only arrive if we aim higher. Fear is a natural and even a helpful instinct, but it shouldn't be our guide. It's courage. Courage is what's needed to confront a dangerous world. Courage calls us to love everyone and everything with an open heart, because only love can cast out fear. And here lies the crux of my video. At the heart of Vinland Saga's story is a Christian message. I'm surprised to find very few videos that address this. And look, I'm not saying Vinland Saga is explicitly Christian. It's not like VeggieTales where they quote Bible verses in the end. Wait. All of this to say, to skim over the religious themes of the show is to forego the depth of its story and characters. The world of Vinland Saga is set during a time when Christianity was slowly taking dominion over Europe. The pagan gods of the past and Christ were battling for the moral conscience of the continent. As the philosopher Nietzsche observed, Christianity has tamed the Western world. There's been a transvaluation of values. Pagan morals have been uprooted and replaced with Christian ones. Vinland Saga shows this tension. We see characters grapple with these new concepts and values. Take a look at this scene. This band of Vikings talk about how Jesus is skinny and feeble. The Norse god Thor could easily defeat Jesus. And what they're saying is true. Jesus is weak compared to this absolute unit. Well, maybe Korean Jesus can give Thor a run for his money, but you get the point. The old world values power and pride, and Jesus is an affront to this. Thorfinn's character journey is a process of him burning away these idols. In his life, he slowly realizes that true strength is found in being kind and gentle, that humility is noble. These are the attributes of a true warrior. This is love. Wilibald, or however you pronounce his name, the friar from season 1, gives us an interesting description of what true love is. You know how you love your family, your friends, your dog? Well, according to the monk, that love is a form of discrimination. As an example of true love, Wilibald points to a corpse decaying. For the friar, love can only be found in death, because death is impartial and it gives to all. Hearing this, Prince Canute points to the snow and to the sun. These natural things don't envy or boast. They're not arrogant or rude. They are indiscriminate. For me, Prince Canute and Wilibald have an incomplete definition of love. The problem with these examples is that it lacks the will. The dead body, the snow, the sun, none of them choose to give. True love is found in sacrifice, to die to self daily and give freely to all. This was what Thors did. This is what Thorfinn will strive to do. And this was what Christ did for us on the cross. As Thorfinn learned from the good book, we're called to not only love those that love us, but to love our enemies. So, what do you all think of my interpretation of Vinland Saga? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to continue the conversation. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. It lets me know that you guys are interested in more Vinland Saga content, because there are other video ideas I want to explore. Like how one particular character from another anime compares to Thorfinn. I also have another video talking about how Vinland Saga changed my life, and you can watch that by clicking here. Subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to see more videos like these. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace out.